These are people who share the same language, the same religion, the same culture, the same ethnicity, and most above all, the same geographical location. So why are they not part of one unified nation? Why are Somalis scattered all over the Horn of Africa region in different countries? Hello, my name is Mo Dahir, and in this channel I talk about politics, current affairs, and other topics of interest in the African continent. Greater Somalia comprises of the region in the Horn of Africa which has historically been inhabited by ethnic Somalis. The territory historically includes the British Somaliland, which is present-day Somaliland, the French Somaliland, which is present-day Djibouti, the Italian Somaliland, which is present-day Southern Somalia, the Ogaden, which is present-day the Ogaden region in Ethiopia, and the North Frontier District, which is the present-day northeastern region of Kenya. The idea of a Greater Somalia was born out of Somali nationalism. This is an ideology which argues that due to the fact that Somalis share all these unifying factors which I have mentioned, that warrants them to have a nation of their own, and Somalia has gone into greater means to make that a reality. In 1963, soon after Kenya attained independence, an increase in Somali nationalism led to conflict in Kenya which was called the Shifta War. The name Shifta, which means bandit in Somalia, was a propaganda tool used by the Kenyan government to delegitimize the movement. This resulted in the secession exercise being faulted and the territory remaining part of Kenya. In 1977 again, Somali nationalism was in full throttle when the Somalia army entered the Ogaden region in Ethiopia to help the ONLF take control of the Ogaden region. The Somalis, who were initially allied with the USSR, changed allies to the United States after disapproval from the Soviet Union on the invasion. The Ethiopians also changed allies to the USSR as part of the Cold War proxy wars game, and this was integral to them keeping hold of the territory. $70,000 troops, 40 fighter planes, 250 tanks, 350 armored personnel carriers, and 600 artillery, which meant practically the whole Somali army crossed into the Ogaden side of the border. By the end of the month, 60% of the Ogaden had been taken. This short-lived success proved to be futile as the Soviet Union flew in 15,000 Cuban troops and military supplies to aid the Ethiopians. This resulted in Somalia losing yet another war to reclaim land of its kinsmen as Ethiopia and Kenya held tight control of their newly acquired territories. Future liberation endeavors came to a halt after the government of Siad Barre started experiencing rebellion back at home, a period which became known as the Somali Rebellion. The rebellion started in 1986 when Siad Barre began attacking clan-based dissident groups opposed to his rule with his special forces, the Red Berets. The Red Berets carried out crimes against humanity against the Majerten clan, the Isaac clan, and the Hawiye. Cities like Hargeisa, which is in the northern side of Somalia, was bombed, and mass graves can be found to this date. continued injustices resulted to an all-out rebellion which resulted in the deposition of Siad Barre, who fled the country. The rest you know. From 1991 to date, Somalia has been experiencing a civil war. Government institutions have become non-existent, the military is weakened, Somalia has become a breeding ground for terrorists, and many have dubbed the nation a failed state. The country is currently on a rebuilding route and a lot of progress has been achieved, but there is still a long way to go for Somalia to stand on its 2 feet. Without the help of outside intervention like AMISOM, which is a peacekeeping mission approved by the United Nations, Somalia will be controlled by terrorists by now. In recent times, Somalia has been troubled by secession plans by Somaliland, which wants to be its own sovereign state, and it has achieved that to some extent, having its own president, parliament, currency, and even its own security forces to some extent. Somaliland hasn't achieved recognition from the United Nations, but has successfully laid the groundwork to be its own independent state from Somalia. The region has not been affected as much by the civil war and has a considerably booming economy and good prospects for the future. A weakened Somalia is a dream come true for the likes of Ethiopia and Kenya from the point of view of foreign affairs. Somalia will no longer be strong enough to claim the Somali inhabited regions of the 2 countries. Kenya's recently passed constitution, which advocates for a devolved system of government, has been great for marginalized communities. Regions like Mandera, Wajir and Garissa will no longer depend on handouts from the central government, but rather get an equal share of the annual budget or the national cake as they call it locally. Wajir recently built its first ever tarmac road, which is a strong example of the fruits of devolution and a great sight as the Somali region of Kenya is starting to compete against other areas of the country development-wise. Somalis in Kenya are still profiled and harassed by the police to some extent, but generally speaking, life has become much better for them since the Shifta war days. In an ethnic federation, some or all of the federated units are constructed as far as possible to follow ethnic boundaries, providing ethnic communities with a measure of autonomy. Such a system may be considered in nations where ethnic groups are concentrated in geographical localities, in this case the Ogaden region. Ethnic groups receive rights to self-government, states are given autonomy in legislative, executive and judicial functions. Ethnic groups are also granted the unconditional right to secession if they wish to. Ethiopian authorities created the Liyu police for the Somali region in 2007, and they have been accused on several occasions of human rights violations. The Liyu police have become a prominent counter-insurgency force recruited and led by Abdi Mohamed Omar, known as Abdi Ile. Abdi Ile is the president of the Somali regional state of Ethiopia, and the Liyu police report directly to him. The Liyu police have frequently been implicated in extrajudicial killings, torture, rape, and violence against people in the Somali region, as well as in retaliatory attacks against the local communities. There has also been growing evidence of attacks by the group against communities outside of the Somali region, including in the Oromia region, according to the Human Rights Watch. So that, dear viewer, ends this video. A nation that has a dream of uniting all its original regions together but has experienced ups and downs in its endeavor. A nationalistic ideology that is still potent and is infringed in the Somalian national flag. But now, I would like to know your opinion on the matter. Do you think that Greater Somalia will one day be achieved, or is this just a fallacy, a deluded notion that will not see light of day? Leave your opinions down below in the comment section, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, kindly give a like. Remember also to subscribe for new content every week. I upload a video every Tuesday, and last but not least, thank you for watching.